Hi there. I wanted to talk about why I think it's really important to make a good digital experience for your customers when they come to your website to look at your menu. So I'm going to start by showing you this article that says 77% of diners check restaurant websites before visiting. And it says here that the biggest factor behind a diner's decision to visit a restaurant after looking at its website were the items on the menu. Which kind of makes a lot of sense. And also down here, it goes on to say that this survey found that 33% of customers were discouraged by a difficult to navigate website. So I hope that shows you how important it is to make a really nice, fluid, easy experience for people to come to your website and take a look at your menu. Now, one thing that I'm really against is the PDF menu, and I know a lot of restaurants tend to just have a really nice printed menu they've had designed, and they just sort of stick that on the website as a PDF, and it makes it easy for them, and they forget about it. Now, there's a few reasons why PDF menus aren't that great. They don't show up in your SEO, and they can be really fiddly to look at if someone's on their mobile phone. But one thing you might not realize is that when you have a PDF menu, and there's a site with one here, if you click on the food menu here on my computer, nothing actually happens. Like click again, something loads up, and then nothing happens. And this isn't because I've done something to prove a point. This is just how my computer works. I'm on a Mac, I'm using Firefox. And what's happening here with these menus is that these are just going straight to my download folder, which isn't a great user experience. But if you don't know that it's going to your download folder, you might just think this button just isn't working and you can't view the menu at all. So I really would discourage anyone from using PDF menus on their website. Now, I recently did a project with someone where we did put in a lot of effort for the menu, and you don't need to go this far, but I'd like to show you some of the things we did, and maybe it'll give you some ideas for your projects. So this is the menu for the stable pizza, and we've made these lovely little blocks which have all the information that someone might need, and you can scroll through them here. So it looks very much like the menu that they have that's printed. And then also you can flick through these different things, and you've got this nice sort of like loading effect so that the page sort of stays together and it feels like you're on one page. But actually, if you look at the menu bar, that's the drink, that's food. These are completely separate pages. So if I was to share a link with someone to say the Christmas menu and give that to someone and they looked, they would open this page and they would be straight onto the Christmas menu. Also, of course, this does collapse nicely. So as you go down, this sort of two columns turns into one column on a slightly smaller screen. And then on mobile devices, it collapses all the way down to a nice mobile experience. Now, the first thing that we did to make sure that this could actually be updated nicely by the team is we had to make sure the back end was simple for them to use. So we did this by creating these blocks. Now, these blocks are exactly, if you use WordPress, if you're used to using Gutenberg, you get these lovely blocks where you throw a heading in and you can throw in a quote, and you can throw in all these lovely things. You can throw in an image, some text, and you can build your own page. This is like how WordPress now works using Gutenberg. It's lovely, it's nice and clean. So what we did for these guys is we just built them their own block. So this is a menu block, and this was built exactly for them. They can put in whatever information they want. They put in their food, title, this has got the main description here, the price, and then also where there's any dietary requirements. And then that pops out just like one of these little blocks here. So there's nothing else for them to do. And the nice thing with this, because it's Gutenberg blocks, is that this is it's just like text. It's just formatted text. So if you're creating a new page, you can take a few blocks, I can copy them, I can go to a new post, I can paste them, and not just the blocks come over, but also all the content comes over as well. So it makes it really super easy for people to keep these pages up to date. Now, the final thing that we did to make things easy for these guys, because this is actually a multi-site venue, they have got, they've got this many locations, and it was really important for them that they could update their menus across all the sites without constantly having to make new menus. So what we did here, if we're going to this section here, for those of you who are familiar with WordPress and blogging, like you've got this post section where you can put all your posts, and you can, and then you've got your categories, and that's kind of what we did for the menus. We duplicated that area. So here we've got a new area called menus, and it works just like posts. So you create a menu here. So this is the drink menu, and this category it's drink and it's Falmouth. So if you go to the Falmouth page, that menu will appear in the drinks section. But down here, this is their main drinks menu. So obviously Falmouth's got a slightly different drinks menu. And then this is all the other locations, and they just put in the venues that applies to, and that all goes to those venues. And then, oh, this is hidden by me at the moment. I'll move myself over there. Yeah, so with the food menu, I mean, right now, I think the food menu is actually all the same, but their last menu that they had for the last quarter was slightly different in some venues. So they basically, if they wanted to change one of these, you can go to quick edit. I could say, oh, that menu doesn't apply to Bath anymore. And then I could duplicate this and create the changes on a new menu and say this menu applies to Bath, but not the others. And then all the menus go to the correct places without people having to repeat themselves. So I hope that gives you a nice little show of the sort of thing you can do at the back end of WordPress to make a nice menu experience, and give you some ideas for things that you could talk to your developer about, or contact us if you need any help with it yourself. Lovely. Thank you very much.